Story time, part one. Now, you may have seen Lee and Denise's posts a few weeks ago about their horror stories when it comes to giving driving lessons and certain people. Well, I've held back on my post, mainly because I wanted Halloween to come and go. I didn't want people to have nightmares, and I didn't want to have nightmares either. So what happened? Well, it was when I was a trainee driving instructor. This was in 2018. I was with a national driving school, and they sent me all over the place. And one day they sent me this lad who needed a couple of hours because his test was coming up in 2 days. So they gave me his name and address. His name was Ali, A-L-I. So I turned up and he wasn't there. Anyway, I had a message from him to say, could you drive down the road a little bit? I'm on the corner. No problem. So I went down, there he was. Looked a little shady. He had a backpack on. And yeah, I was a little bit concerned because he didn't look quite right. He was a bit nervous, got in the car, and he said, I haven't got any money on me. He said, how much is it going to cost? And I told him it was like 2 hours plus the test, which was going to be another 2 hours. And he said, okay, no problem, but could you take me to a shop and I'm going to get the money for you? Okay. So we drove probably a couple of miles. As we were driving, we were passing a few cash point machines, and I thought, why isn't he just, getting the money out of a cash point? So we went to this shop, and the shop looked like this. So he asked me if I could go down the road a little bit. Yes, not a problem. So I went down the road, he got out, he went up to the shop, and he went in. He was only in there a couple of minutes, and I was looking through my mirror and I could see him running towards the car. Got in the car, he had a bit of cash in his hand, and he said, okay, drive, let's go. So we started driving, and we got to a car park and pulled up, and he said, right, how much is it that I owe you? And I told him, and he gave me more. He gave me probably double. He said, I want you to have that. I went, no, I don't want it. He said, no, I want you to have it. So I said, okay. I'm very naive and a bit stupid. And so we swapped sides, and he had a little warm-up driving lesson ahead of his test. And he was a good driver. He knew how to drive, probably a bit too good. And so, okay, I said, right, I'll see you on Thursday. That was his test day. So I picked him up. He said, would you pick me up in the same spot where you picked me up today, so not at my house? Yeah, sure. So I picked him up on the corner, went to the test centre. He passed his test. Great news. I was really happy for him. Then the next week, I was just watching the news, the local news, and I saw this come up on the local news. And the presenter said that this shop last week had been